Wherever you are, how are you doing? Have you recovered from the heartbreak of betrayal? A 2024 film titled Gateway will tell the story of a family on vacation to a remote island inhabited by people who are all cannibals or human flesh eaters. How brutal is the story? Let's just put on our headphones, get comfortable, adjust our pants, and enjoy the show. The story will focus on a family consisting of Richard, the father, Susan, the mother, Jessie, the older sister, and Sam, the younger brother. They are on their way to vacation on a remote island in Sweden, coinciding with a decennial celebration held with a kind of festival and traditional drama. So Richard and the family seem very excited about this vacation plan.
Every 10 years, the islanders celebrate the festival of
Quarantine.
or quarantine.
Mummy, thank you for the info. Beliefs.
Arriving at the pier to board the ferry, Richard and his family took the opportunity to eat at a small restaurant there. Just as Richard and Susan were ordering food, Jessie and Sam were seen behind the restaurant, finding a pigeon with its head severed. Who knows who could have done such a thing? After eating, the seller immediately cleared the dirty plates from Richard's table while asking where they were going. And guess what the seller's reaction was?
No.
No, I just thought I'd ask. Sorry. Where are you going?
Over into Svolta.
Yes, upon hearing that Richard and his family were going to Spalta Island, the seller was truly shocked because they knew something about the history and mystery of the island.
You will not be welcome on the island. No. Why? Foreigners, that's it.
While Richard was paying, the seller, feeling pity, warned Richard not to go to the island during the festival celebration. Because, unlike what they imagined, the festival in question was not a regular festival as we know it. But Richard insisted on going to the island.
What? Have to leave. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Once on the ferry, all the passengers there stared at the four of them with a scary look, as if they objected to this family going to the island. Whatever kind of celebration was actually being held on that island, Richard and his family didn't care and continued to enjoy their vacation.
Sommar, 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 jag vill viska i ditt öra.
Arriving at Spalta Island, the passengers, all native islanders, again stared at Richard and his family with a cynical look, until finally, an old woman named Grandma Eli, the community leader, appeared and explained that this festival was not open to the public and only community members could participate. So Grandma Eli told them to leave the island immediately.
Or another.
You lick my face! You lick my face!
It's not all. Hey.
Not long after, a native islander tour guide named Matt, who had previously communicated with Richard, appeared. Unlike Grandma Eli and the other residents, Matt deliberately rented out his late mother's house to Richard to be used as their residence during their vacation on the island.
It will be short.
Thank you.
Okay, come on. Put your bags on the cart. We will now go to your house.
And this is the house Richard and his family will live in. The place is quite good and still livable. While Jessie was looking at the bedroom, suddenly...
Hey, don't be scared. It's only Matt's.
Yes, at first glance, Matt's face looked scary and suspicious, but Richard and his family had no bad thoughts or suspicions about him at all. Long story short, night fell. The atmosphere of the house was now different after the lights in all the rooms were turned off. Richard and Susan woke up to a light coming from outside, which turned out to be...
Leave us alone!
Yes, all the residents were seen standing in front of the house carrying torches. One of them even wore a scary mask. Susan screamed, warning them not to make noise because her two children, Sam and Jessie, were sleeping. Instead, they gave them a dead centipede-like animal as a gift. What could that even mean?
You can't leave that here.
The next morning, Richard went to Matt's residence to show him the dead animal given last night. Matt explained that it was a traditional Spalta Island welcome, and Richard was asked not to worry too much about it.
I will take this to the commune.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's, Thank you. Bye-bye.
In the afternoon, Richard and his family toured the island while looking for a good spot to take pictures, unaware that in the distance, a bald man named Johan was watching the four of them. Up at the same time, at the restaurant Richard and his family had visited, several police officers were conducting a crime scene investigation after finding the body of the restaurant owner who had died in a very gruesome condition.
Nice.
Suspecting that the perpetrator was one of the residents of Spalta Island, a police detective immediately went to the island to conduct an investigation, just as Grandma Eli and several residents were practicing a drama to welcome the celebration day, which was tomorrow.
Do you know Johan?
Based on police records, the detective suspected that Johan the bald man was the perpetrator because he was known to often get drunk and had committed theft. But Grandma Eli did not know his current whereabouts and asked the detective to leave immediately because he was considered to be disturbing the drama practice.
You have no jurisdiction here.
Switching to Sam and Jesse, who were visiting a cafe owned by a young man named Paul who always showed a gloomy, frowning face. Paul openly told them that their presence in this place was absolutely unwelcome. 3 residents even appeared with the intention of chasing them out of the cafe.
We don't want to be here, mate, okay?
My waffles.
So don't look at him.
Don't touch me.
And yes, outside there were already several residents wearing robes and masks, complete with 4 coffins. Who were they for? They laughed eerily, which made Sam and Jesse uncomfortable, so the 2 of them immediately left the place. And you might be surprised to see Matt lying in Jesse's room wearing her underwear. What kind of man is Matt? Jesse, who realized her underwear was missing, slowly approached the mirror. And might. In the community hall of Spalta Island residents, Grandma Eli was seen giving a speech to all residents regarding the celebration event that would be held tomorrow. This is where it was finally revealed that the celebration event in question was actually a hereditary event to commemorate the death of their ancestors who were massacred by British soldiers about 200 years ago. But the surprise was that after the massacre, all native Spalta Island residents turned into cannibals or human flesh eaters due to the famine that struck. And their targets were people of genuine British descent, like Richard and his family.
The English arriving here has solidified my resolve.
Actually, for decades they had stopped cannibalism and only celebrated it with a theater drama as a form of respect. But after seeing Richard and his family suddenly force their way onto the island, Grandma Eli's cannibalistic urges re-emerged, and she decided to eat the 4 of them along with all the residents who agreed to the plan.
It offered me an unsurpassed clarity. The English must be offered up.
Not only the other residents, but Grandma Eli also approached him to inform him of the plan. He initially refused because his original purpose in bringing Richard and his family was only to profit from the house he rented out. But after becoming obsessed with Jesse's body, Matt agreed and would take part in the plan.
You might. Together, we shall eat. Perhaps our friends would like some nice cookies.
The next day, just in time for the celebration, all the residents gathered to watch the theater drama they usually performed. Only after the performance was over would they immediately hunt Richard and his family to be served for dinner. At the same time, Matt began his task of making Richard and his family faint by giving them cookies mixed with sedatives. At first, the 4 of them were reluctant to eat the oddly shaped cookies, but after being tired from swimming and feeling cold, Richard and his family decided to enjoy them.
Gross.
They're really dry.
Yeah, dig in.
Not long after Richard and his family collapsed, Matt appeared to make sure they all had fainted. Without Grandma Eli's knowledge, who was still performing, Matt immediately carried out his hidden plan, which was to indulge his desires towards Jesse. Yes, Richard and his family apparently never ate the cookies. If you still think the 4 of them are victims who deserve pity, you are greatly mistaken, because it turns out And you might be shocked to learn that Richard, Susan, Sam, and Jesse are the real monsters. All 4 of them are psychopaths who deliberately came to this island to carry out a massacre without having to worry about being disturbed by the police. Instead of hunting this small family, it was Grandma Eli and the native residents who had to run in fear, avoiding the chase of Richard and his family, who brutally killed indiscriminately. So, woe to all of them who truly made the wrong choice of victims. That night, Jesse and Sam went to the port office's communication center to prevent officers from contacting the outside world. This is where we will see the psychopathic souls within the 2 of them, as Jesse and Sam had to act scared to trick the officers there.
Come in. Those are strange man. Hide from the monsters.
Not long after Sam and Jesse finished off the port officers, one of the residents came and took a flare gun to signal for help to people outside this island. Not long after the police outside the island successfully received the distress signal, Richard and his family continued their hunt. This time, the targets were Grandma Eli and the remaining residents who were hiding in a warehouse. So, even though he was stabbed through the cheek, Richard, a cruel psychopath, didn't care at all. He and his family immediately broke down the door and successfully entered. While Richard and company were having fun, Paul appeared with the intention of giving a warning, but
That good. When I saw the flip.
After Richard and company finished having fun, we see Grandma Eli and her husband managed to escape through the back way and didn't get to see what the perpetrators who had massacred their citizens looked like. Unlike other weak and fearful citizens, Grandma Eli convinced her husband to stay on this island and look for an opportunity to face the perpetrators.
You can do whatever you want. Help me complete the character.
At the same time, Richard and company were resting while enjoying a bonfire. Richard suddenly stabbed Sam in the neck, killing him because it turns out...
Have I?
Why did you do that?
His characterization is 2D and cliche.
Yes, who would have thought that Richard, Susan, Sam, and Jesse were not a real family? The 4 of them were psychopaths who coincidentally met and acted as a family to deceive others. This was not the first time for them. Previously, they had changed partners and carried out different actions in various parts of the world. Because Sam was considered to have a bad and annoying attitude, Richard killed him after everything was finished.
Have a nice cup of tea.
Come on, baby.
I know. Oh, God.
Just as the detective arrived on the island and saw the incredibly horrific chaos, Richard and company went to Matt's residence and realized that Matt had been secretly watching them all this time from hidden cameras. Seeing Grandma Eli and her husband downstairs, Jessie asked permission to handle it herself, and...
Help me.
Unexpectedly, Jessie was shot in the stomach but did not die because Grandma Eli and her husband did not yet know that Richard and company were the ones who massacred all the residents. Jessie acted again, explaining that the perpetrator was Matt. So, Grandma Eli's husband decided to check inside the room.
Please help me.
Yes, Grandma Eli's husband was killed by Richard, who was pretending to be lying on the bed. As for Jessie, she was approached by Susan, who was still acting as her mother. Until finally Richard came there, so the 3 of them immediately stopped acting, which shocked Grandma Eli, until finally...
The English lied, I now realize.
And yes, psychopaths always have unbelievable luck. When the detective shot Grandma Eli, believing her to be the culprit, Richard and company were safe and immediately taken away from the island. As for Bald Johann, he was shot dead by the newly arrived police force, and that made the last show the most fun for Richard and his fake family.
That was the best holiday ever. Stay together.
Maximum Movies The End. A pretty brutal ending. The lesson we can learn from this film is that a person's character cannot be judged by their outward appearance. Many look good, neat, wearing suits, ties, dress pants, expensive shoes, sitting in board meetings discussing policies, but turn out to be deceptive and insincere. On the other hand, many have a simple appearance. Sometimes at first glance they seem arrogant and stubborn, but they possess extraordinary sincerity and kindness. Remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Open it first before judging. Who knows? It might be a good one. Hi, I'm Max, representing the board of directors, thanking you and see you in the next video. Adios, harmonious sea urchin family.